It's been a long time coming. They ain't come for my cloth, they tug it. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Hola. Yeah.
And I've been talking without the microphone on, I think, the whole time. Hold on a second. See, that's the problem. I'm running on 3 computers. Shit. Hang on. You guys hear me now? Yeah. See, there was an echo going on. See, I run 3 computers simultaneously, so sometimes I have a microphone open and it's on the wrong computer. I think it should be okay now. Hang on a second. Yeah? Got me? Very cool. Well, I'll sum it up in briefly. What I was saying was, you heard me this morning talking about shorting the market, right? Shorting. And then you heard me say my favorite phrase that I've been saying since 2015. Shorting is short-lived and you're going to die. It's the very simple term to remember. Because, and I did find that chart that I wanted to show you. Let me make it bigger. Hang on. So this is stock market history since 1928. And if you notice that the chart after the crash has pretty much gone from lower left to upper right because the market never really goes down. And those little blips you see, Russia going into Crimea, Turkey coup, Chinese slowdown, SARS, Ebola, N1N1, pandemic, economic turmoil, Trump candle, and on and on and on and on and on. Market never goes down. You get it now, right? Market never goes down. Now the speed, and if you guys were listening to me, I was on Yahoo Finance. And by the way, thank you. I know. Rockets, robots, space, AI, and chips. Thank you. Thank you. I know what I'm doing. So about a year and a half ago, I said the next hot sector is going to be space, rockets, robots, and AI. And it's going to be powered by something called quantum computing. And no one even knew that phrase. But considering I've been doing this for 30 years, quantum computing about 3 or 4 years ago was a fad. And all these stocks had their pumps. And we're like, oh, look at all these weird stocks. Again, I've been around enough. I've seen every fad. I don't know if you guys remember superconductors. Back before most of you guys were trading, there was B2B incubators, going back to the 90s. You had fiber optics. You guys remember when flat screens became a thing? Yeah, chips were the new chips. I mean, there was always a fad, right? Quantum computing had a moment about 3 or 4 years ago. So when those stocks started to percolate, I was like, let's go. Because my theory here, and again, I sound like I'm a super bull, but I'm actually a bearish kind of guy. But I know that shorting is short-lived and you're going to die. And I know when to ride these trends. And right now, the trend is still, we're just in the beginning of space. We haven't even got to outer space yet. And that's why I'm pretty damn bullish, right? And I hate to be bullish because it goes against most of what I believe in, because I'll keep my reasons for being bearish to myself right now. It's more societal, down on society. But again, as we've known, the market's not connected to anything based in reality anymore. It's all space, rockets, robots, AI, quantum, and chips. So my theory here was space, rockets, robots, AI is going to be powered by the quantum computing, which is then, how do you power all that? Semiconductors. So I made my bones back in the day when I was a broker. The only stocks that my clients ever made money on were chip stocks, because I had a buddy who worked at, I believe the name of the company was Roberts and Stevens at the time. I don't know if they're around anymore. And he was pretty versed in the world of semiconductors. And back in the day, there was 8 stocks to choose from. You had Intel, and back in the day, we called it Wintel, because it was Windows and Intel were the 2 kings of the world, Wintel. You had AMAT. You guys remember AMAT, Applied Materials, right? You had a company called SanDisk, remember? Back in the day. It was fairly new back in late 90s. Lam Research was around. Qualcomm had just IPO'd. Qualcomm was around. You had US Robotics bought this company. I forgot the name of the company. Com something or other. Anyway, I'm pretty hip to the chip stocks, right? I've been trading chip stocks, semiconductor stocks my whole life. And the reason I'm super bullish right now is that this market, the enormity of the comeback is unbelievable. From April 9th to right now, we're up 38% off those lows. And that's why I think, remember, since May 11th and the power gap, we talked about the power gap last time, power gap traps everybody, right? And since then, we've been super bullish. But again, the idea of the reasoning behind being bullish, even though you might have missed the the fastest, quickest rally in the history of the market ever, right? We're in a bear market. Again, the terms that the market uses is just absurd, right? When they finally call it a bear market, it's usually over because they wait till the market falls 20% from highs to say, hey, now it's a bear market. So the next day, if the stock market goes up, are we out of the bear market? No, but then the market needs to go back to all-time highs to qualify it being back in a bull market. It's all bullshit. We're never in a bear market, ever, right? We're always in a bull market. We just correct and crash along the way. It's always a bull market, always. Let's not be silly, right? I showed you the chart, right? Sometimes it just takes longer to get going again on the upside. But now, if you guys saw me on Yahoo Finance a year ago and a year and a half ago, I was telling people how it's irresponsible to even think about shorting anymore, because shorting is short-lived and you're going to die, because the bear market's now becoming less and less. Look, we went into a pandemic. How long was that bear market? 2 weeks, until we crossed some T's, dotted some I's, and the market took off. And we just shoved money into the market, and the market went up, and then people were forced to cover shorts and go long. And then we had this fake crash. And last August, it's not even a year ago, this yen carry trade, right? It's bullshit. Complete and utter bullshit. No one even knows what that was all about. They just needed a reason or a way to wipe out short vol players like me. I got crushed. They wanted to crush the short vol guys because we've been having our way with the market for 3.5 years and gave it all back in one day. No joke. 3.5 years of making money on UVXY and fixed products, all gone in one day. It was fucking horrible. And I'm living that nightmare right now because I just did my taxes last week and I had to see the numbers in black and white. It was ugly. Worst trade of my life by far. Nothing will ever compare to what happened to me last August. But the market sold off, and then what happened? Hey, what was that all about? I don't know. Something about yen carries, some unwinding. Oh, bullshit. Oh, fake. Oh, right. And then we rally, right? So here's the cues from last year. Let me show you the long-term chart, and let me show you why I'm so super bullish still, right? Right? So here's the fake crash right there. Right? There's that fake yen carry crash, right? So this is the overall market. And what you're looking at now, you know what? I'm going to give it to you on a 3-year chart on a weekly just to compress it a little bit more. That's a 3-year weekly chart. That dotted orange line, that is a 3-year weekly VWAP. What I have a system where any time frame I look at, it gives me the VWAP for the time I want to look at. And as a day trader, normally I'm looking at 1 minute and 1 day. But I take a step back, I zoom out, I take a look at the overall picture to get a feel for what the market's doing, and then I focus my attention on the day and what I could achieve each day. And like I said last time, if I'm going to swing trade or own a stock, it usually comes out of a good day trade, opposed to what your typical swing trader is. They're in a day trade, it doesn't go well, and next thing you know, it's a swing trade because they don't want to sell it. Oh, I guess I'm a swing trader now. That's how it usually happens. I, on the other hand, when the market's ripping like this and I'm in a good day trade, like, you know, the ASTS and the SRAD and, you know, buying the sale and you know, all the bunch of NVTS and all the stocks that we did well on over the last month and a half. And again, if you couldn't find a trade going up in the last month and a half, I don't know what to tell you. You know, you could have banged your head on a keyboard and hit the buy button. You probably would have done all right. And it's nice to buy stocks when they're breaking out. Anyway, it's simple trade in a bull market. But let's go back to, you know, what we're seeing here. So this fake crash in August, we got back to all-time highs pretty quickly. This one, and now when we look at it from afar, all this was one monster fake out, shake out, breakout. And that's the trade I'm going to show you today and why it's so important. And when you see the faux show bro using VWAP, it also exposes that word that I always use, rigged. The market's rigged. It's absolutely rigged. But when you hear the word rigged, immediately people use it in a bad way. The market being rigged is awesome. First of all, it's rigged to only go up, right? And then the other word, that lovely word, manipulation, right? The mantra of the bag holder. You buy a stock and it doesn't work out for you. What do they start screaming? Oh, this market's rigged. Oh, they're manipulating it. Oh, they're shaking the trade. Oh, they're getting the weak hands out. Every bag holder who owned a shitty stock has the same, you know, just a checklist of things they're going to be yelling at the market. And a lot of times they are right, because that's the fun part about the market. That's what's so crazy. Let's say there's 13,000 stocks out there to choose from. You know how many good stocks there really are that control the entire market? 300. 300 stocks. And usually it's 300 stocks and basically 30 days of the year make up the entire bull market. And that's why most people lose, because they try to find the next thing when it's just better to buy the thing. Like everyone's trying to find the next Microsoft. No, just buy Microsoft. You're trying to find the next NVIDIA. No, just buy NVIDIA. It's better. Best in breed. That's what the guy calls it, right? But it's true. most stocks suck. And that's why when I say I'm a bear, I was born into bearishness. Plus, I have a Jewish mom, so pessimism is just the way I was raised. Nothing ever going to work out for me. Or worse, my grandmother, who is the king of pessimism, she used to say, when I was a broker, why would anybody listen to you? What do you know? Thanks, Grandma. So that's where I was born from. So, and I also went into being, I was a stockbroker at first, an awful stockbroker at the Boiler Rooms, at the Wolf of Wall Street place. And it was just awful. And I wasn't good at it because I don't like lying. I didn't want to make up stories. I didn't want to tell tall tales. I like becoming, I like talking to my clients and schmoozing with them and learning about what we own and being transparent. You don't make money with that attitude as a stockbroker. You need to be cutthroat. You're a salesman and you could do whatever you need to do to make the sale. And I wasn't that guy and I wasn't really good at it. But I was scarred early on from all the garbage that I witnessed. And then even when I became a market maker and I saw the manipulation, blatant manipulation, this was the negative manipulation that you hear about when there was only 2 market makers controlling the float of an entire stock. Basically, we could do whatever we wanted with the name. There's only 1 million shares out there. We controlled the entire float. You literally could manipulate the stock. Anyway, but then day trading was born and we had more access to all this stuff. And, again, fast forward, I'm still jaded and cynical. And I use that now as a positive because I know the market's rigged. I know it's manipulated. And I am jaded and cynical and bearish. But that just keeps me focused. But more importantly, I know all the mistakes I've made from being a bear, I don't make those mistakes anymore. Now I exude that and I teach that now on a daily basis. So let's get into it, right? So let's talk back about this faux show bro over this market. So it broke August lows and then it came right back. We were going long anyway because of that moment. You broke a real, and again, a lot of the people, the mantra of a market when it starts to rally, the bears or some of the bull, we have to test those lows before we can go any further. Nah, you don't got to test shit. V bottoms happen all the time. Bye-bye, and you missed it, right? You have to test shit. But in this case, they actually got what they wanted. So we went all the way back to 420, and we broke it. And we were at 398. You don't see it on the chart, but pre-market that morning, we were at 398. And I was just thinking, hey, this could be the biggest fall. I was already thinking, let's buy. And if you guys watch my video, I put a picture of Tom Lee. I was like, Tom, hold me. I'm buying the dip. Because Tom's always saying the market never goes down also. And again, whether he's a genius or not, that's up for debate. All he says is the market never goes down. No kidding. No kidding, Tom. We never go down. My dad just thought of fun. Anyway, so biggest faux show bro ever. And then we tested it. We tested the breakout area for those people that need some testing. And then we started ripping, right? And then in this rippage, right? Let me go on a shorter time. This is the 9-month chart, 6 months. During this rippage, we had that monster candle, consolidated the candle, broke out of the candle, super bullish. And that what you're looking at here was the 6-month VWAP at the time where it put up a fight. And I believed we were going to put up a real fight. The bulls had their way. The shorts got destroyed. We got to that level, that pivot level. I thought we were going to find some resistance between the 483 and the 493. But we gapped above the first resistance. That's your first mini power gap, right? And then we broke out and we were going to have some resistance at this triple top area. But then that Monday, infamously, May 11th, or sorry, wasn't it May 11th? I've been saying May 11th the whole time. It was at May 12th. I got to correct my paper that I just wrote. I thought it was May 12th. That's so weird. May 11th was a Sunday. 9, 10, 11. Yeah. Oh, sorry. It actually was May 12th. I apologize. I have to go correct that on all these things I wrote. So on May 12th, we power gapped above all resistance. So say it one more time. Power gap. So we had these two little mini gaps trapping shorts here. And then we power gapped. So now all the people that were debating whether or not to buy back into this market, that might have got capitulated or sold, sadly, down at those lows. All the shorts that were just holding on to hopefully we roll over so they can make some of their money back while they reloaded. So the longs are still debating. The shorts are in the process of getting their asses kicked. And then we power gapped. Woo! Above all of it. So now the shorts are fucked. I've been power gapped before, trust me. So shorts are screwed. Because all that debating and waiting, now you're screwed. You're power gapped above all that resistance that you thought was going to come into play. The longs who were debating go, oh, man. Fear of missing out kicks in. And what have we been doing since May 12th? Going up, consolidating, going up, consolidating. We haven't even violated the bottom of the candle of the power gap, which are now new generational lows. And I've been saying that for now 2 months. Every pullback that we have are new generational lows. Now, what is a generational low? A low print that you may never see ever again. And I did some heavy calculations yesterday using the Corbinite maneuver, meeting the triple Lindy. And if you guys know about the Corbinite maneuver, you know what I'm talking about. The Corbinite maneuver is a way to calculate mathematically projecting the breakout move, because we are now in what's called a blue sky breakout. We've never been this high. So using the Corbinite maneuver and the triple Lindy, of course, we've come up with a target, and write this down, 1,040 on the QQQ, April 20th, 2028 at 1:30 in the afternoon. Write it down, seriously. You guys need any Post-it notes? You guys still use Post-it notes? Is that still a thing? I got a bunch. So write it down. So 1,000, right? So write it on, put a sticky note, put it on the computer right now. 1,040, April 20th, 2028 at 1:30, 1:43 in the afternoon. 1:43 in the afternoon. Take it on your sticky pad. Whoop. I used to put these things all over my computer, remember, not to do things. Put one up there. So there you go. So now let's just do simple math. The Qs are at 545, and whether or not you think this market's running out of steam, it can't keep going, blah, 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 blah. Ooh, inflation, stagflation. Oh, economic data, blah, blah, blah. Ooh, World War III starting. Ooh, it's all bullish. War is bullish. Inflation's bullish. Stagflation, everything's bullish. The sun's out, bullish. The only thing that's not bullish, and let me show you how this is my bearish bullish indicator each morning. Ready? If there's not a nuclear cloud coming my direction, bull market's still on. That's it. So now let's get into the nitty gritty, right? The nitty gritty, right? Because maybe you think that this is a new conversation. Oh, he's just acting this way because the market's been going up. No. This is the way I've been since I got my ass destroyed. All right. I had a really nice career, had a really nice life. And what did I do between the years of 2012, 2013, 2014, and some of 2015, because I'm so bad. And I was so determined to make some of my money back as a shorter. I spent 3 years getting my ass kicked shorting the market because I thought I knew more about the market. Ooh, we can't keep going up like this out of an economic crisis. And that was the 08. Turn, the 09, so after 2010, 2011, 2012 of relentlessly going up, I saw the signs. I thought I saw the signs of a market topping out, and I started aggressively getting short, and I got hammered. And then I just refused to give up, and I just kept doing it, and basically threw my whole life away. And I'm talking about my life, okay? I didn't tell my wife what I was doing, bleeding my life savings away, getting my ass kicked. Exactly. She's wondering why I'm all angry every day. I would go to the city, pretend that I was going into work. Because there was a point where I was like, listen, I don't even know what to do now. Because I was basically cash poor. And, I couldn't really talk about it because I was keeping it a secret of how badly I was doing. And it was a pretty fucking awful time in my life. But finally, I learned. Stop doing this. And all the stuff that I learned from getting my ass kicked for 3 years combined with everything I learned from when I was successfully trading, meets VWAP today. So Brian Shannon, Zach Hurwitz, thank you one more time for showing me the light. And again, my feeble mind didn't really appreciate how important the VWAP was for about 18 months. But for 18 months, I sat there watching, oh, wow. Even when the market goes down, if it breaks back over the VWAP, it usually starts an uptrend. Well, that's a good thing to know, especially as a shorter, because that's where you have to say, this short's not working anymore. Let me get the hell out. And that's what we do for a living now. So fast forward 10 years now, it's been about 12 years since I've been using VWAP exclusively, not just exclusively, with this one little handy chart, the one that you saw when you first opened up the screen when I was talking without the microphone on. That, my friends, is the proof that the market's not only rigged to VWAP, but the market's never going down ever again in our fucking lifetime. All right? So what you're looking at here, let me get rid of the red line because that's where I did my one trade today. That's where I bought the Qs. What you're looking at here is what you look at in our chat room every day. What you're looking at right there is the cleanest, most beautiful chart you'll ever see. You know why? Because there's only two lines. You got your candlesticks, obviously, but you got an orange line and you got a blue line. Blue line, orange line. Blue line, orange line. Blue line, orange line. That's it. There's no moving averages, no stochastics, Bollinger Bands, bullshit. RSI, don't need it. Fibonacci, VWAP, for lack of a better term, trumps all of it. So now, as your jaded, cynical, bear market guy who lives in a perpetual bull market, I still want to be bearish, right? So every morning I say, all right, market, prove to me that you can possibly go down. And today it tried. And before I explain how freaking sick this chart is, right? Let me explain how I originally started trading before I was a psychotic shorter. In 1998, circa 97, 98, when I started taking trading seriously, and then we luckily began a new genre of trading with SOS and SelectNet. The guys are old enough to remember SOS and SelectNet. There's mythical stories about 1998 to 2000. The pizza guy was making money. Your cousin was making money. Your retarded uncle was making money. Everybody was making money. And it's true because every day was exactly the same. The market would open up strong. It would sell off for 6 minutes, 7 minutes, start going back up, and then break the 930 high and then go up pretty much all day. Check mark. Check mark. Right? You're seeing it there. But the check mark was also comprised of two moments: the fake out, shake out, then the breakout. So it would go down, try to rally, break that recent low, then rally. So we called it the faux show bro. Fake out, shake out, breakout. Trade's been working since me and my boy Robbie Krieger, not that Robbie Krieger, but Robbie next to me. He's like, man, this market likes to fake you out and shake you out. Then it always breaks out. I'm like, it's like the faux show bro. He says, yeah, I think I coined the phrase. He thinks he did it. Anyway, it's mine now. Faux show bro. And every morning, it was the same freaking day, right? So you'd wait. The market would sell off. You knew it wasn't going to keep going down because it never did. You'd get that little pause where it would try to rally, then roll, then rally. Fake out, shake out, breakout. Faux show bro. Fake out, shake out, breakout. So now, back in the day, all we waited for was the 930 candle high break. By the way, is anybody short core weave? Because that just rolled over 10 points. And if you guys saw me on the morning show, I'll show you the core weave trade. And we weren't short. We were short earlier, then we got long, and it just rolled over hard. But I'll show that to you in a second. Let me show you this faux show, bro. So the 930 candle high. You guys still with me? 930 candle. So why the 930 candle? Because that's all we knew. You didn't have pre-market. You didn't have overnight sessions. The most pre-market activity we had back in the day was 9 o'clock. You get a half an hour before the market opened up. That's it. Then they expanded that to 8:30. It was crazy times when we had pre-market action at 8:30 in the morning. It was nuts. So the trade used to be faux show, bro, breaks the 9:30 high candle, and you go. Faux show, bro, and go. Right? So that was the trade every day. Same thing. No matter what stock you picked. You picked Cisco, Cent, whatever you picked. Faux show, bro. Now, using VWAP, it's showing you exactly where it wants to go on the faux and the show. And this is where I call the blatant manipulation of the market. But if you have our script, which when you join our room, we give this to you. We used to charge $3,000 just for the script. Let that sink in. We used to just sell this for $3,000. That's how important it is to have this on your charts. Right now, it's a lot less. And we give it away as part of our subscription to our room. So a trade that's been working religiously for 30 years, now you can visualize it and get in at a better price because first of all, the market's never going down, right? So that's your default. Oh, but it's going to go down one day. All right, whatever. I'm glad you think so. Until it starts breaking the orange line. So now you'll have to take my word for it. The orange line was there before this move happened. So now you're seeing, and again, what is the orange line? That's multiple time frame VWAP, right? That's grabbing data from yesterday and today and pre-market and aftermarket. It's doing its math for you, how we calculated it. And the blue line is today's VWAP. So when you faux show and you start to bro, when you could visualize it, and that's why I said this chart is almost orgasmic to me. Sorry to get graphic. This chart just proved everything we've been talking about since 2015. The market is rigged. It's rigged to VWAP, and it never goes down, right? So the reason I love this freaking trade so much is that I was usually a buyer at the red line, like I did today. 9:30 high candle break, I'm in. And I shouldn't have hesitated. But my bearishness made me hesitate because I want to see the proof. So now you got a chart pattern without VWAP there was going to work. But now you're seeing it visually, algorithmically, blatantly rigged to go test its friend back there. Hey, we have any chance of going down today? No. Bye-bye. So now you're getting the faux and the show, and the shakeout part is algorithmically, they're telling you where they're going to shake the longs out. And the reason this trade works again so well, remember, people who are not using VWAP, who are blind to this beautiful setup, right? At these levels, when it breaks down, the shorter here is going, yeah, I'm getting short. Here we go. We're breaking lows. The longs who say, oh my God, I can't believe I bought this market 2 days ago. I knew I chased it. They all get out. The Johnny come lately long who just got in, he's nervous. He's selling. The shorter who's been getting his ass kicked for his entire life, he's thinking he's going to make some money there by shorting the lows of the day on a market that's breaking all-time highs, which they both could be right. But then the multi-day VWAP says, nah, they're wrong. So instead of waiting for the 9:30 candle high break, which again was a great trade, you're a buyer coming off right here. So a trade that's been working religiously for 30 years, now you're getting a head start on the same trade. How do you fail? You don't. Speaking of live trading, hold on, I got one for you. All right. We're late. I don't want to chase, but this was on our radar. So now, again, you see it, right? Because every chart's going to be somewhat similar. The one I just showed you where the faux and the show, your prior day VWAP is giving you support. What's it doing in this case? In this case, earlier, that prior day VWAP was resistance. You got there, and there was a seller lurking there. Tanks. What do you see here? fake out, shake out, back to the VWAP, faux show, bro, worked, you got paid. And now, because the market's rigged, you consolidate on the VWAP. There's another faux show back above VWAP. So they're trapping the shorts, getting the longs to think it's going down. Ooh, trap. Ooh, trap. And now, 1 minute, multi-day, new high break, explosion to the upside. And that one was on our list for a buy today too. So again, as you're watching me do this, this is what we do from 8:30 in the morning, pretty much all day. And then when I get tired, my friend and partner and lover, if you will, Solid comes on and talks about the algorithm that he built around what we've been doing over the last 10 years. And it's just a great way to trade. So anyway, APLD, I hope you guys are buying this one. But let's go back to that QQQ trade. Now, let's say you're too nervous to buy the shakeout part, even after you saw it hold multiple time frame VWAP. Maybe you're afraid to buy it when it buys here. And again, all these trades, why they're so good is even when they one day when it doesn't work, because it's been working like clockwork. One day when it doesn't work, when you're wrong, you know if it violates a prior day VWAP, you're wrong. And you know, here's another saying I want you to live by. First of all, shorting is short-lived and you're going to die. It's nothing new. We've been saying that for a decade now, or more than that. But here's another one. It's okay to be wrong. You just don't stay wrong. It's okay to be wrong. Just don't stay wrong. And VWAP is telling you, hey, this time you're wrong. And when you hear risk management and money management, that's how you stay a viable trader. Yes, all the cliches about trading are true. And how do you stay consistent? How do you stay disciplined? VWAP. That's it. Because if it would have rolled through here, let's say it would have got to the 1 minute and got rejected and then rolled and broke there, you certainly know you're wrong. And then you get out and you join the winning side. But right now, you were right. But even if you weren't skilled enough or savvy, or maybe you're just scared because you think this market's on the precipice of rolling over and going down. I don't know why anybody would think that. It's just funny every time when I think the market's we're never going down. Power gap. We're never going down ever again. Seriously. I mean, if we even have a 3-day sell-off one more time going into the end of the year, I'd be shocked. So even if you were afraid to buy the first, or where I bought, I bought the VWAP break, 9:30 candle high break, and I got involved and made some money, right? That right there. Now, it looks like as if I drew those blue line and orange line just to try to impress you guys today. No, I don't need to impress anybody, right? That's what we call a test of strength. So every once in a while, some sellers show up, right? Oh my God, what's happening? The market's going down for 7 minutes. Ooh. What's it doing? It's just reverting to the VWAP in the middle of the day. Oh, sorry, this is what, about 11:30, right? Usually we get what? The best part of the market, we usually get 9:30 to about 11:30. That's usually the bullish part of the day, right? And then usually middle of the day we consolidate, and then we go up at the end of the day, typical, right? So the market likes to try to get people out, shaking them out, faking them out. It's part of the nature of the price action. But when you come back and you hold the blue line, you could right there at that moment, you go, oh, look how cute, market trying to go down. Test VWAP, comes off the VWAP, buy it. And what's wonderful about this trade is that, let's say you bought coming off the VWAP and you're wrong. You immediately sell half, and then you just go back to a prior area of support and you sell the other half if you're really wrong. We do everything in increments of usually 2 or 3. But that's what's another lovely thing about VWAP. And again, this is my nephew, not even out of high school. I showed him this trade. He's like, can you teach me a little bit about trading? I'm like, all you need to know is about VWAP. He's like, what about There is no what about. All you're going to learn is candlesticks, price action, and VWAP. And that's all you'll ever need. I showed him a couple of charts. He watched a couple of my old videos, did some due diligence, watched some other videos about YouTube. 3 weeks later, the kid says to me at a basketball game, so, Uncle, if a stock is above the VWAP, pulls back and holds it and starts to rally, I buy off the VWAP and use the VWAP as my stop, right? Yes! Now tell your dad you don't have to go to college. And the guy's got it. And that's what he does now. And he's in high school. You know, he's not throwing big money around. He buys just 4 shares of the Qs just getting a feel for it. But right there, on that one notion, he's now a better trader than most noobs are ever going to be. Because most noobs look at all these studies and look at all these studies. Look at all these studies. Alpha, bearish, the candlestick, the crossovers, the cycle studies. You love a deep trend price oscillator, don't you? Marked with the market sentiment TTM wave. And put yourself into the Swami accelerating and distribution and the Swami predict relative performance, meeting the momentum studies with the A and the M and the lower studies MACD histogram. How could you fail? Look at all this shit you could choose from. And somewhere out there, somebody swears by this, all of this. Look at all that shit. You don't need it. You don't need any of it. The market only does a few things every day. How many different indicators do you need? You don't need any of them. You need VWAP and multiple time frame VWAP, otherwise known as Anchored VWAP, brought to you by Brian Shannon. And if you'd like to learn more, Anchored VWAP. This is book number 2 by Brian Shannon, a friend of mine, and he sells books and he gives me free alcohol. Hi, Brian. Brian Shannon. No, seriously, one of the only books you'll ever have to read about trading. There's Josh Brown's books, which are pretty entertaining. If you haven't read it, I don't know why I'm doing a book sermon right now. And if you like books, Backstage Ball Street. This is actually a great book. Really fun to read. And Brian Shannon's books. And of course, when I write my own book, it's called Infinitesimally Small Balls. It's a story of my trials and tribulations and resurrecting my career 4 different times. And that's me with hair. Infinitesimally balls, coming infinitesimally small balls, as I should say, coming to a discount rack in your neighborhood soon. All right. So let's talk some more, right? So what do we do on a daily basis? Oh, you know what we did today, right? Did you catch me on the morning show? What was I looking to do? I trade earnings reports. Why? Why? Does anybody know the answer? Because that's where the volume is. We go where the volume is, right? More volume, more better. We're volume-weighted average price traders. And what we have determined over the last decade of experimenting with the VWAP, right, is that if a stock is gapped up on earnings and it breaks VWAP and prior day VWAP 99 times out of 100 over the last 3 years, the stock will go down. Since 2007, as we've been back testing, it's only around 78% of the time, which is still awesome. Over the last 3 years, let this one sink in. I said it to you. Look deep into my eyes when I say this. Deeper. Come here. Closer. This trade setup has provided a winning trade every time for going on 3 years and 3 months. So earnings season's where we go. So we're about to get into earnings season again. That's why you need to join my room right this second and get in and get ready for July 17th when earnings season starts and you have more than 1 to 2 to choose from. I like it when there's 1 or 2, but earnings season's starting. So look into my eyes right now. The trade has provided a winning trade every time, not just once in a while, every time. When I say winning trade, remember, sometimes the trade will later on in the day become a loser, but if you let it become a loser, you're a loser. It's provided a winning trade every time, every time, every time, every time, not just once in a while, not 50-50 as one guy said, oh, this seems to work 50-50. No, every time, every time. So when I see a company that reported earnings, I don't give a shit whether they were good, bad, or indifferent. I don't care what the analysts have to say. Is it up? Yes. Is it breaking VWAP? If the answer is yes, I'm a shorter. And this trade now, this 1 minute multi-day VWAP reversal trade, like I said, hasn't failed us in a very long time. And what was unique about this trade, it's a short on a chip stock in a market that never goes down. That's how powerful this trade is. And look at the confirmation of your bearishness, right? Let me show you, right? Because if you're as jaded and cynical as I am, which you should be as a trader, and if you are listening to me talk about this and you just said, what? Wait a minute. What did you just say? The trade never fails? That's bullshit. Good. Let me prove it to you. You think I'm full of shit? Good. Join the room. You get 2 weeks for nothing. Let me show you. Trade hasn't failed in 3 years. 78% since 07. It's all you need to do. 2 lines on your chart, focusing on earnings reports and focusing on the stocks that I choose. And again, I have a secret scanner that scans for the best names to be watching each day on top of the earnings reports. And by the way, if you don't know, I am also Scan Man. I used to be Scan Man. I am Scan Man. I scan all the scans that a Scan Man can. Scan Man. And considering I've been in the industry my whole life, my father and I bought we've tried scanners, we've tried anything we saw on infomercials. As long as there was a money back guarantee, my dad and I would try it. What we've learned is most people are full of shit. And second of all, there is no magic scanner that spits out the winners, because the scanners basically are overkill, right? They're scanning for something that you believe is going to work. So the scanner gives you your idea, but you still have to trade it. And that's what my scanner does. It gives us a heads up to some VWAP trades on stocks that I have isolated to be good. And today was MU. Yesterday was FedEx, and FedEx again today. As a matter of fact, I'll show you the trade that some of my traders are in right now. By the way, I probably should have mentioned to you, I apologize because I was too busy talking about some other bullshit. But this the MU trade, right? So we're short because we're playing the fade, right? And we got paid. Next thing you know, it starts to rally. And we're worried because it was a fake out, shake out, and then starts to rally. So we're forced to cover on that faux show moment right there. But it was a great trade. But then when it got over the VWAP and couldn't stay above prior day VWAP, you had a chance to short it again. Missed it, right? But then it did us this favor of that. Look at that beautifulness right there. Now, again, you have to take my word for it. I did not draw the blue line to prove my point. The blue line was there. So when the stock creeps its way back and goes right to the exact price, to the penny, because the market's rigged, and it goes there and says, hey, schmucko, you got one last chance to short the stock. What are you going to do about it? You're going to do it this time? You missed it over here. Okay. So you short the stock. And again, with every trade, like we talked about, why am I getting in? What am I going to do? Remember, I'm pessimistic. I always plan for the worst first. Why am I getting in? Because it just proved to me it's worth shorting again. It's starting to roll. Just tested VWAP from underneath. I'm shorting it. There was where I shorted it. I was a little late to the trade, but I shorted it right there on the breakdown. That was the 126.85 area, right? And I should have shorted it here. And again, let me explain one more time. Remember my nephew, uncle. So if a stock pulls back to the VWAP and holds it and starts to rally off it, I buy it and use the VWAP as my stop, right? Yes, it's the same thing here. So in this case, you're a shorter. Now, you want to see something cool, ladies and gentlemen? A lot of players don't see shorting. They don't even see it. They can't picture it. So I tell people, flip the chart over. Minus MU. Whoop. Does that look like something you'd buy? There's my nephew's trade. Hey, uncle, if a stock pulls back and holds the VWAP, I buy it and I use VWAP as my out. Yes, you do. So why not do it on the inverse? So let's go back to reality. Reality was you had a VWAP test from underneath confirming weakness and it starts to roll. Short it. And that's what's freaking lovely about the way we trade, staying with one stock. And again, I'm kind of getting a little pissed off right now because I was supposed to be shorting FedEx today. I'm not in it. That's why I'm hiring if anybody wants a job. While I'm doing shows, you put trades on. Right? That's why I got my uncle, I got my cousin, I got my nephew, I got my son, I got my other friend Dave, and that's kind of what we're trying to do here. I just want to be the carnival barker of information, throwing trades out. You guys put them on, we all make money. That's what I'm good at. Let's continue. So you got your sell-off, and look, you got paid again. And now look at this trade. It never even got back above where you shorted it. I mean, where it broke down from. So this stock actually remained a short throughout the whole afternoon. Phenomenal action. So let's talk about FedEx. And why are we talking about FedEx? Well, you know why we're talking about FedEx, because we traded it yesterday. And when a stock reports earnings, we tend to look at them for at least 2 days, sometimes 3, because there's still residual buying and selling based on what just transpired on the event. So I tend to look for usually at least 1 day, the day I just want to see how the action plays out from what we saw yesterday into today. So because FedEx was a lovely buy yesterday, right? And then it overshot the highs from yesterday. No reason to think anything but bull. But then it suddenly did this, breaks the VWAP and goes back to prior day, faux shows and bros, and the bro was kind of very weak. And then it's telling me, hey, wait, now you can't even get back above VWAP. Now you're rolling. Now you're breaking prior day VWAP. Maybe that seller from yesterday is back. How do I know? Because VWAP's telling me. So this is where I should have been shorting it. Again, I wish I was short. And now you see, this is the rigging. You see the red lines, my friends? I did not draw these lines today. These are the lines I drew yesterday. And look at the pivot points. The significant point from yesterday became a significant point today. You know why? Market's rigged. By the way, APLD, new highs. And then look at where we sold off to. Remember the level that we bounced from yesterday? Oh, coincidentally, we went to the same price today. You know why? Because the market's rigged. So what we do is just play the rigging. It's fan-freaking-tastic. And all you do is stay with, you can't be jumping around from stock to stock to stock. You guys know about CYN today? If you're trading CYN today, and by the way, 1 minute multi-day VWAP reversal today at $8, stock went to 41. How you doing? Right. And I'm not even joking. It all started right here. I mean, this morning. We're like, oh, what's this? Right? There's your one. There it is. Fake out, shake out, buy it. That was at $8. $8. Stock went to 40. And it just starts with an innocent VWAP hold, a faux show, bro, back above VWAP. They're trying to shake you out. And next thing you know, you got yourself a monster that goes from 8 to 40, crashes, and then faux show bros and VWAP again. You got a chance to buy it for 8 points. How you doing? But if you're trading this stock, you're certainly not going to be able to trade. This thing's moving in 3, 4, 5 point increments. You're probably not going to be able to be looking at anything else. And that's good. The more focused you are on one stock, you get into the ebb and flow of the name. You get into the ebb and flow of the name around VWAP, you are now a semi-professional trader. You guys know why you never call yourself a professional trader? Do you? Do you know why? Do you know why? Do you? Never call yourself a professional trader, because then every platform you're on, they want more money from you. Seriously. You ever open up a new account? You know those boxes that you check and you don't even read them? Read them. Because if you check the wrong box, they're going to charge you for data and extra shit. If you say you're a professional trader, never say you're a professional trader even to anybody. What do you do for a living? I'm an entertainer. I never tell people I'm a trader anymore. I sing and I dance. Oh, yeah? Where? In my house. All right, let's continue, because we only got a couple of minutes left. So And by the way, tomorrow's Friday, option expiration. If that makes you nervous. All right, so core weave. Here's my favorite one of the day. All right, now all those red lines are where we were trading the stock over the last couple of days. And I just want to show you some more blatant rigging. And again, it's wonderful. Embrace the manipulation, embrace the rigging, embrace the VWAP, and you will be on the right side of every trade you put on, right? Be jaded, be cynical, right? It's fantastic. So let me get rid of, I don't want to get rid of all the red lines. Let me get rid of some of the red lines. The most important red line is that pre-market high test, right? So we came in today, and let me show you briefly. I only got a couple of minutes. I'll show it to you quick. And this was one of my other ideas. 5 days ago, you had a blow off top on CoreWeave. We were long this stock from 40 bucks. I don't want to tell you where I sold it, 15.80, I'll tell you. 50.80, I should have held on, obviously. But we made some money, and 80 gets you 120, 120 gets you 150, 150 gets you 180. Those are rules of IPO trades. It still works today. So the stock got to 187 to the penny, right? Like it was programmed to go there because it was 187 to the penny. Then you had this blow off top. It actually got weak that day. And the next day you broke prior day lows, confirming the weakness. And the last couple of days, it's been showing that there's a seller out there, but there's also somebody that still likes it on dips. So there's a battle going on, and we know that. So, all right, we know that. That's our thesis and our idea and inkling. All right, so now prove to me that the coast is clear to even think about shorting CoreWeave. VWAP break at the open. VWAP test from underneath. VWAP test from underneath. Short, 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 short. We got paid. And then you go back to rule number one of shorting. Shorting is short-lived, and you're going to die, right? So now watch this. So not only, right, you didn't get your classic faux show. I mean, it kind of is right there, faux show, and then you tested it. But more importantly, remember when we were talking about my story about getting my ass kicked as a shorter? And the first thing I noticed is you just can't stay short stocks that are breaking back over the VWAP. How about that? So we were short this stock, and we luckily got paid. Tries to rally and rolls, and here we're thinking, all right, it's going to roll over and die. But then it turns and breaks VWAP. Not only was at the end of the short, but we covered and we went long, and look where it went. Blue line to orange line like it was programmed, because it was. So that's the beauty of staying with one name or two names. You get focused, you can make money on the downside, and then let the rookies and the noobs think that this thing's going to go down, where we as VWAPians understand that if it gets back above VWAP, the short is over. Not only is it over, you cover and you go long, and you got paid on the upside, and then you overshot. And here's what was unique, and you have to take my word for it. You weren't there for it. I said, hey, if it gets over the 1 minute and the multi-day, look for it to go test the pre-market high. Whoop! It got there, and the seller that was there earlier this morning was still there. And if any of my maniac friends reshorted this stock, I would be very impressed. I'm not in the name anymore, but look at the blatant beautifulness of it all. 1 minute to the multi-day, gets rejected, breaks it, goes back to test his friend. Hey, what are we doing up here, guys? Oh, well, we were selling last time. All right, well, I guess we're going to sell again. Woo! Back to the VWAP, but then look what it did. Faux, show, back above VWAP, conjure up my nephew. Hey, Unc, if a stock tests the VWAP from on top, should I buy it? Yes, buy it. And you got paid again. And that's why I was just saying, what the hell's going on with the stock? Because it was actually, the last I saw was in the middle of a faux show. I thought this thing was on its way back to the highs. But look at this. The stock breaks the VWAP, gets hammered, and yet still reverts back to the 1 minute. It's a wonderful way of trading. And every afternoon, please spend some time with me, and I will show you the intricacies of just using VWAP and multiple time frame VWAP as your trade. And not only does it work on the day, it works on the week, works on the month, and of course, it's keeping us long the queues. And I'll give you one more price before I go. If you're thinking about selling the queues ever, and I mean ever, right now your stop is today's low. That is the only place you're selling. So one of the first lessons I learned about trading, how to stay long, As long as your stock doesn't break the prior day's low, stay in it. And we haven't broke prior day low since, I don't know, April 7th. It's a bull market. Farewell, my friends. Good luck for the rest.